everyone, my name is Georgia and welcome to today's video. If you are new, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and also turn on notifications with the little bell just beside the subscribe button so that you guys can be notified whenever I upload a video, because man, I got a lot of videos coming. But today I'm doing another story time. I did a story time like 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, whatever, and it was really good to get that response that I did back from that video. I didn't expect you guys to really enjoy it, but you guys seemed to really like it and wanted to hear and more. Do I even English? You guys wanted to see more, so here I am today filming another story time. This one's an embarrassing one, let me tell you. Definitely one of the most embarrassing moments of my life, and I'm here to share it on the internet. Why do I do this to myself? So sit back and enjoy listening to just another embarrassing moment of Georgia Woodford. So this story is set last year at formal. Actually, I don't know when this video is going up. It might be going up in the new year actually. So 2 years ago, wow, I'm getting old. 2 years ago, I was in grade 12 and at our formal, I had a bit of an embarrassing moment. So I've had a lot of embarrassing moments in my life. Let me just tell you, like, I'm an embarrassing person. I embarrass myself on the daily. I do stupid things all the time, and just when I'm talking to people, like, I'm socially like awkward sometimes and I just say things that don't really make sense and I hate myself, and sometimes I even cry after them because I'm just so embarrassing. Anyway, so at formal, you know, you've got like a beautiful backless dress on and you know, you're getting all glitzy, you're feeling all glamorous. I actually went to 2 formals, so I went to my boyfriend's formal and my formal. And my boyfriend's was first, which was awesome because I got to learn things to do and not to do for my formal, so I could sort of do it properly for mine. And that was like really handy. Boy, oh boy. So my dress, I'll try and find a picture and put it on the screen somewhere, but it was like this blue high neck dress. It was beautiful. I loved it. And it had a really low back. Like the back came down so far and I loved it. I love low backs, so I was really excited to wear that one. And because there was no back, I wore sticky boobs, which if you don't know what they are, I will show you. They are these. So these ones are from Bras and Things, and it's just sticky boobs. It's exactly how it sounds. It's a bra that's like self-adhesive on like the cut part, and it's just got a little like clip in between that like ties them together, and you just wear them when you have like a backless top or dress or something like that, something where you don't want your bra to be shown. I wore these and I have never really worn them before formal. I wore them like once or twice before this formal just to like, you know, get the feel for them and just wear them in a little bit, and I don't know, I just wanted to make sure that I knew what I was getting into. So I put them on at about 4 o'clock, say. I remember the pre was at like just after 4, so I went to the pre and you know, everything was fine. They did feel like they were not sticking as well. I was a bit nervous about that, and I remember like telling my mum before I went, and I was like, these feel like they're gonna fall off, and I was like, I'm so scared. And mum was like, no, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. So yeah, there was a few moments throughout the night, like even just when we arrived at the formal, I remember they felt like they weren't really sticking to my boobs, so I had to like push them on a little bit. But it was like, you know, a formal event, so I didn't want to be really unladylike and just be like, yeah, stick, there we go. I had to like sort of do it subtly and like, you know, make it look not as obvious, so that was a bit hard. I remember I went to the bathroom a few times and I just had to like stick them on and like hold them down and hope that they would just last me throughout the night, because after the formal I was like going home to get changed and I'd put on a different bra to go to the after party. So I just needed to get through the formal, and while I was at the formal, obviously there's a lot of dancing and I love a good dance floor. Like when I go out, I'm always on the dance floor. I just love dancing. And so I'm on the dance floor, I'm like dancing with all my friends. It was so much fun. Like it was the best time ever. And I could feel that obviously I was getting hot because I'm surrounded by all these people and everyone's just dancing and you know, it's a fun time, but it's very hot and sweaty on the dance floor, and I could feel myself starting to like sweat a little bit. And one thing that these are not good for is, one, sweating, because obviously the self-adhesive stuff detaches, and two, tan and like moisturizer. And I did both of those things. I was sweating, and before I left, I didn't know at the time that you weren't supposed to put moisturizer on. I didn't even think about that, but I put moisturizer over my whole body just to like look after my tan. That's that. And you can just imagine me, you know, dancing on the dance floor, having a good time, and I can feel them like really starting to detach, and I'm like, oh crap. And I'm like, okay, just keep like sticking them on, and I'd try not to make it like really obvious. And you know, I'd like, you know, when everyone was like doing this, I'd like quickly just like push them on somehow and just hope that they stayed on. I just kept dancing, you know, I was having a good time, and then I was doing that a few times. All of a sudden, my boobs fell off. My boobs fell off on the dance floor, right in the middle. Thank you very much. So that was so embarrassing. I had like an obvious dress on so you could see, and I was like holding like the boobs, like pushing them back on, and they wouldn't go back on. It was so embarrassing. I've never been so embarrassed in my life, but thankfully I was close to like the stairs to go down to the bathroom, so I literally like grabbed my boobs and ran down the steps. I was so embarrassed because at this time I had only been dating my boyfriend for like a month, and I didn't want him to think I was an idiot. So I was so embarrassed, and I didn't want anyone to see me, so I grabbed my friend. She came to the bathroom with me, and we like were in the toilet like pushing them on, hoping that they would stick back again, and they weren't really working. It was so hard. I think I just said to myself like they were slightly sticking, not very well, and if I did dance or sweat more, they were coming straight off. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not gonna dance for the rest of the night, which is so hard for me. But anyway, it was only like another hour and a half left of the formal anyway, but everyone was dancing and having such a fun time, and obviously I wanted to enjoy that, but I just couldn't because I did not want to embarrass myself anymore. So I was like sitting down and pretending that my feet hurt, when really the real issue was my boobs were falling off. Anyway, so I remember like my boyfriend kept coming over to me, and he was like, yeah, hey, let's dance. Like, oh yeah, you know, like come onto the dance floor. And I was like, no, I'm fine. And I probably look like the most like antisocial person ever, but I didn't want my boobs to fall off again. Like, I was scared. So anyway, after the formal, it was fine because at this time, like, I'd calmed down and I wasn't like sweating or anything. And I was so excited to get out of there, and I went straight to my car. My dad picked me and my friends up and brought us back to my house so that we could like change and go to the after party and whatever. But I was so happy just to get in the car and not have to worry about it anymore. And when I got home, I put on a new bra and went out again, and it was all good. But you'd think the story ends here. It doesn't. So then for my formal was about a month later, and I had sticky boobs again just because my back was very different. I had like a crisscross back, and it just wouldn't have worked to wear a bra. So I was wearing sticky boobs. I also had like cutouts like in weird places. So yeah, I needed to wear sticky boobs again. So we bought a different pair actually. We bought a new pair and thought that, you know, we'll do it properly this time. And the lady told us that, you know, you don't moisturize, you don't put tan over that area. All of that sort of stuff. And so when I went to get my tan, I even like wore my sticky boobs so that there was no tan on that area, and thought I was doing it all right. Didn't moisturize that area, and tried to reduce sweating. But at my formal, I was dancing again, and you know, I'm on the dance floor having a good time. You do just sweat, like it's just what your body does. And so I'm starting to sweat, and I can feel them starting to like detach again. And I also actually remember that like at the for my formal, I remember saying to my mum, these don't feel as secure as the last ones, and the last ones weren't very secure. So I was like, yeah, this isn't going to be fun. And I was just hoping that I didn't have to like worry about it all night. because I wanted to enjoy myself. It was my formal. Yeah, I'm on the dance floor and you guessed it, my boobs fell off again, and I was like, what the hell? And I was like, why does this happen to me? And I was so annoyed. Luckily my dress wasn't like, you couldn't see it obviously, so I just went to the bathroom with a friend and I was like trying to stick them back on, trying to sort myself out, and they just weren't sticking back on again. So I was like, you know what? I want to enjoy myself. So you know what I'm gonna do? I whipped that bra off and I was like, I'm just not gonna wear a bra. And it was good because you couldn't see like my nipples through my dress, which was great. I had a black dress on and just the material did show that area, so it was like, woo! Luckily I was able to do that, and my friends thought it was so funny. I was like cracking up in the bathroom laughing, like how embarrassing. I'm free balling at my own formal, like what? So I was back on the dance floor. I was dancing, just trying not to jump as much, you know, I'm still a lady, but you know, I'm having like a good time, and I just, you know, changed my dance style a little bit, but I was having a great time and I got to enjoy the rest of the formal. But the other embarrassing part was I took the sticky boobs off, but obviously I'm not going to carry them around in my hand for the rest of the formal, so they had to go on my clutch. Luckily my clutch was big enough to put them in, because the one that I took to the first formal I went to was not big enough at all. So this one was like one of those big envelope clutches, and I had so many things already in there. I stuffed my sticky boobs in my clutch and I carried it around for the rest of the night, which is so funny because can you imagine having sticky boobs in your clutch while you're just walking around? That's so weird. And so my friend, she had like a minivan, like a minibus, and she took my group, some other people, like all of our friends and their dates, and took them back to our friend's house so we could get ready for the after party and then get driven to the after party. So we did that. We're like all on a bus together. I don't even know how many people, maybe like 20 people, on this like minibus. And we were all, after the formal, we were all just like chilling and stuff. So I'd only been going out with my boyfriend for 2 months, so still in that like I want to look good stage. And he's sitting beside me on the bus, and we're just, you know, sitting here enjoying our time together. And my friend is behind me, the one who was with me when I like took my boobs off, by the way. And she had like something, like one of her belongings in my bag, like an iPhone cord or something, and it was so funny. She was like talking to me and she was like, oh Georgia, can I get out my phone cord? And I was like, no, because if I like opened it, he would have seen that I had like boobs in there, and like it would have been 10 times more embarrassing. So I wasn't opening my clutch, and she was like very, very persistent, and I was like, no. And I was like, oh no, you can get it later, like yeah, you don't need it now. And she's like, yeah I do. And she's like, I want it now. And she's like, can I have it? And she's like, please. And she's like, just give it to me. And I was like, no. And I was like, even if she opens it, there's boys everywhere, like I just don't want that to happen. So it was very hard, and eventually I was like, I kept giving her, you know, the look, and eventually she got my hint and she was like, oh right. And then when we got like to my friend's house, we were like cracking up laughing, and I was like, you were so persistent, like it was so embarrassing, and he was so confused why I wouldn't just give it to her. But like, how embarrassing if I opened that and then the guy that I liked was like sitting beside me and just saw that I had sticky boobs, like they look like chicken fillets, in my clutch. Like, what would he have thought? It was so embarrassing. It was just such an unfortunate thing to happen to me, but it was definitely so embarrassing. It may not sound very embarrassing, but I assure you, in that moment, I was very, very embarrassed. So yeah, that's my story of how my boobs fell off. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like story times, and I'll definitely make sure that I do more. I don't just have embarrassing stories to share. I have bad stories and interesting stories and horrific stories and all the types of stories you can think of. I can think of one to tell you guys. So yeah, let me know what you'd like to hear me tell a story about next, like what type of story you'd like to hear, and I'll make sure that I film that for you guys. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in a video very, very soon. Bye guys. We're taking off.